Hi everyone, Happy New Year. It's Justine here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me. I say Happy New Year because even though we're a week in, for me the new year doesn't really start until about now, because for that first week I'm just in a limbo, what is happening kind of mode. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Please say I'm not the only one. Anyway, so hello. It's been a long time since I've done a face-to-face video. That wasn't intentional. Life happens. So I'm here now, and I'm here to give you a little bit of an update, but also I want to talk about some plans that I've got for this year, this month, and yeah, just generally get us all clued in as to what's happening. So first and foremost, I'm running a couple of challenges in the Facebook group this month. Now, they're not just a Facebook group thing, anyone can do them, you don't have to be in the Facebook group, so I'm going to talk through those. To give a bit more information about what it is, how to go about it and how I'm doing things, and hopefully this will just be helpful for anyone who wants to get involved. So what on earth is it? If you're not in the Facebook group, you might be thinking, well, I don't know what's going on. So there are two challenges. The first is I'm bringing back the Finish It in 4 challenge that we did last year. That one is just for January. And if you remember, it's basically taking 4 steps towards finishing an unfinished project. So the one that I did last year is I worked on my Lilacs and Lavender Fairy journal, if you remember that one. And I took 4 steps towards finishing that, and I got it finished in the month. You don't have to finish your project in January. It's just taking those 4 steps towards making some progress on it, really, if you have anything unfinished. So that's for January. This year for me, I'm working on the Through the Seasons Altered Book Journal. I don't think I'm going to get it finished because I've just got too many things going on, but I'm going to take those 4 steps towards getting some progress done on it. And then the other thing, the big thing, it's called Stashbusting 101. And basically this is going to be an ongoing challenge starting this month. And I say ongoing, there's no end date, it's just when I run out of ideas. When we run out of ideas, we'll stop the challenge. But yeah, it might be 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, who knows. I'm sure it won't be that long, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to talk through a little bit about the stash busting because it is a brand new challenge. We've not done it before. And basically, the challenge is to get on top of our craft stash and our supplies. So, if you're feeling like your supplies have gotten on top of you, you have lots of them. If you're feeling like it's been a while since you've tidied and organised your craft space, if you like things neat and tidy, and if you have supplies that you just know are somewhere in the room or the space that you've got and you've just completely forgotten about them, not used them in a long time, this challenge is for you, and I hope you'll enjoy it. So every month I'm going to pop up with some tasks that we can do in that month to help us get on top of our supplies. That's the whole purpose of the challenge, really. Where it's possible and where it's going to be helpful, I'll share some videos or some blog posts along the way. It might be, 10 ways to use your book pages, stuff like that. Where it's relevant, where it's helpful, I'm going to try my best to give as much information as possible and ideas, really, as to how we can get on top of different things. All of us are going to be in different boats with what we've got and what we need to get on top of, but I'm hoping that along the way you'll get some ideas. So if you're going to take part, you can do it offline. You can just do it at home with me on in the background, or with somebody else on in the background, or just some music. Then that's fine. But if you're going to share your progress through the challenge, then we do have a hashtag which should be either in the title of this video or in the description box. And it's just hashtag JJII Stashbusting 2024. I've put the year on the end because if this is a popular challenge, we might very well do it again next year. Who knows? Organising craft supplies. It's a hobby in itself, isn't it? Okay. So preface this, before I go into more about this, you don't have to do this challenge in January. I've kind of sprung this on everyone, including myself. It's just an idea I had at the end of last year, where I just thought, you know what, let's just do it. So I haven't pre-recorded anything. I've got a vague idea of January and February. After that, we'll get there when we get there. I've sprung it on you and me, so don't feel like you have to do this in January. As I just mentioned, the first week of January for me is like limbo, and you can approach this challenge anytime. You don't need a new year to get on top of stuff. So if you want to wait until June or even next year, that's fine. What I'm going to do is at the end of the challenge, I'll be writing up a blog post just to talk through what we did, what worked, what didn't work. And so therefore it will always be this resource, hopefully, for someone to join in with anytime they want to. So I just want to preface that. But I hope that you'll enjoy it. I hope you'll enjoy the ideas, and I hope that you'll get something out of it, whether you do it now or later. I'm doing that thing again. I'm talking really fast because I'm just very excited. Okay, so that's the challenge. That's what we're doing. And I just want to talk through what I've got planned for this month, January. So really for me, January, or at least the first month of the challenge, month one, let's just call it month one. Month one is getting prepped and organised. Even if you don't like a neat and tidy space, I still think you kind of need to have an idea of what you've got in your room before you can, start tackling what you've got. So these are some ideas that I've got for what we can do in January to get the ball rolling. And you don't have to do all of these tasks. You don't have to do any of them. They're just ideas. So number one, what I've got for you is plan some projects and themes you want to work on this year. Now, for me, this is helpful at the beginning of a year to think about what themes I definitely want to do, or what type of journal I really want to make. And the reason I say to do that first is because it just gives you an idea when you go into organising your supplies and looking at what you've got and just generally doing a tidy up. You've already got in the back of your head something that you want to make. And so you might find supplies as you go along, which you can then put off into project folders. I've got these Collapse boxes that are full of project folders. So for each folder, I've got a certain thing like, Blue Winter or the Secret Garden project again, stuff like that. So that's really helpful, I think, for just getting into it. It can be a theme, it can be a type of journal, think about what journal you want to make this year. Do you want to do a simple envelope journal? One signature, either a large envelope folded in half or two envelopes joined together, covered with paper and fabric? Fine. Do you want to make a journal from packaging? A cereal box or some kind of food packaging? Great. Do you want to do something completely different and try a folio or a lap book, some flippy thing for the first time or second time? Whatever it is you want to make, write a list. Just have a list in the back of your head as to what you want to do this year. So for me, I normally give myself 3 or 5 projects for the year. Things will come and go. Other things might pop in, things might go off the list as I go through the year, but generally speaking, I'll sit down and have 3 to 5 projects I definitely want to find time for. If you have more time than I do to craft, your list might be longer. If you have less time, your list might be shorter. Whatever it is for you, write that list down. Number 2, check whether you've got any unfinished projects lying around. Now, I'm sure we've all got them. No, some of you are very good at finishing your projects, I know, and my goodness, you need a medal. Can we just invent the finisher medal in the crafting community? I mean, I've just got an idea in my head now that my husband could probably 3D print something. If you're good at finishing projects, you deserve a medal because I want to be you. But I'm sure lots of us have them. So check whether you've got any. Maybe you've even got something you've forgotten about. been there. Been there many times. Check that. If you do, then you might also enjoy the Finish It in 4 challenge that we're also running in January, or month 1. So, you can take 4 steps towards completing that. Or even if you don't want to do that challenge just yet, make a list of the 4 steps you can do, and then make that your goal for February or month 2 or month 3, however you want to do it, think about that. As I mentioned, for me, it's the Through the Seasons Altered Book Journal. So I've made a list of the 4 things that I can do to break it down. So just remembering off the top of my head, I think they were things like finish the summer pages, because I haven't done any of those. Finish the winter pages. I think I had 1 page spread left to do. Do the ephemera and work on the cover. And that will probably be it finished. But maybe there'll be a couple of other things I need to do. But, you just break it down into those 4 steps, and, that might help you at least make some progress, or even just plan the progress. Number 3, choose an area or 2 of your craft space to organise and tidy. If you like things neat and tidy, I know some people prefer supplies everywhere because that is just how they work. That's fine. Again, these tasks are not... You don't have to do all of them. Just do the ones that make most sense to you. But if you're like me and you actually prefer things to be a little bit more organised, then just concentrate on an area. So for me, I'm looking over here because I have a mountain next to me of stuff that I know needs to be put away, and I've not done it. It's corralled. It's in one corner of my space, so it's like out of the way. But it's big. I mean, it's like... so big I can't fit my hands on the screen. So for me, that will be my first part to do. So yeah, just pick an area of your space to sort this month, and you might have to come back to it each month. You might have to do a bit here, a bit there, whatever you've got time for, really. For me, the biggest thing that I found that has helped me is keeping things like with like. So for example, again, I've got these Kallax units, and I've got these boxes that pull out, and in this one, for example, I've got folders for different types of papers. I've got envelopes together, I've got book pages together, the text ones, not illustrated, that's somewhere else. I've got doilies, things like that. So when I'm sitting down to work on a journal, if I know that I want to use a book page for a pocket, or if I know that I want to insert a ledger page as a page in the journal, I know where to come. They're right here in front of me. Some other things that I keep together, I've got a drawer for lace and crochet and things like that. I actually have them colour-coded. I've got a drawer for keeping all my fabrics together, again, colour-coded, sensor pattern there. And then I've got these drawers on my desk which have all my little things. So I've got, green leaf stickers separated out from mushroom stickers or floral stickers. That kind of thing, really. So yeah, for me that's been really helpful, is having things together in one place, so when you need a specific thing, you know exactly where to go. Now I have quite a small craft room. I don't think I've done actually like a studio tour of it yet, because I still haven't put any artwork on the walls. Still looking at plain walls. But I have shown my craft space. It's very small. I think it's about 2 meters wide by 3-ish meters long. Very small. Some other people though might have an even smaller space than me. Maybe you're, you have to use the dining table, so all of your supplies is just in a box somewhere. Regardless of the size of your room or your space, I still think you can do this task if it makes sense for you. So even if you've got a really small space, you could have your box, and within that you've got folders keeping things together. Of course, if you've got a smaller space than me, maybe you've been really on top of not buying too many supplies, because you have to be careful of what room and space you've got. But there are still ways that we can keep things together, so we know exactly where things are when we need them. That for me has been the biggest help in anything that I've ever done. But if you do need some more tips and advice on this, I did actually do a series a couple of years ago. I think it was called, I cannot remember. Oh, that's bad. Sort It Saturday? Sort It Out Saturday? I think that's what it was called. I did a whole video series on me doing this part in big. You know, I had a very messy room and I really needed to sort everything out. So I did that, and I do have a blog post. So I'll link the playlist and the blog post down below in case it helps you with some ideas of things that you can keep together. And number 4, and the final idea of a task for month 1, is use just one stash item you have a lot of or that you're feeling overwhelmed by. So do you have a lot of book pages? Maybe you could mass make some book page ephemera. Maybe just make the bases. You don't even have to decorate them all. Make the bases. You could keep those all together somewhere. So when you need a pocket for your journal, regardless of what theme you're working on, you can grab that pocket and decorate it to use. Do you have a lot of fabric? Maybe you could mass make some journal covers. Again, you don't need to decorate them. Grab a whole bunch of envelopes, stick or glue or sew the fabric onto the envelopes, and then look, you've got a cover ready to go. And when you come to working on a project in that theme or that colour, you can grab the base. And that's why I mentioned task 1 of having an idea of what you want to create, because it does help you with tasks like this. If you know that you're going to make a pink journal, then you probably want to prioritise using up some of your pink fabrics, that kind of thing. Now, in my case, I am completely overwhelmed by my illustrated book pages. So I have this box full to the brim, full of all kinds of illustrations and what I deem pretty book pages. They're not text, they've got illustrations on them. This is my fault. A couple of years ago, I went through a process of buying a whole bunch of books that I had planned to get so that I could do flip throughs on my channel to show people what books I'm using and what I enjoy using. And yeah, it was just a really fun, relaxed series. I loved it. But it meant that I have a lot of books that I don't have time to use. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to find the time this year though. I want to get on top of this pile, for want of a better word. Alright, I've been good, I've got them all in a box, so at least they're out of the way, but there's too many of them. And I have a whole pile of other books that I haven't dismantled yet because I'm not allowed to until I've used these up. So for me, my first step is probably going to be to actually organise this box of book pages. So for example, I might start categorising them using like bulldog clips. I might start deciding what will be journal pages versus pockets versus pages that I want to use on the cover of a journal. Things like that. I'm sure there's probably other criteria, but I'm going to start categorising them in such a way so that I can see better how much I've got of any one thing. That will help me plan for the year. And to be honest, the ones that I decide that I'm going to put into a journal as a page, I'll probably just start folding them, and then I'll probably put them into a folder so that I know when I'm making a journal I can reach from that folder and get my page straight away. That's just an example of what I'm going to do. You might be completely overwhelmed by a different set of supplies, but basically this month is just having a look through them, making a plan, and maybe just making some simple things that will help you get through the stuff. So as I mentioned, every month I'm going to pop up with some tasks. Again, they are just suggestions, they're just my ideas of what I think we could be doing. So I'm going to share them in the Facebook group, but I'll also probably record a video like this just to give a bit more colour, a bit more excitement to the challenge. I'm not going to film myself doing every part of the challenge that I do because, you know, do you really want to see me sitting folding journal pages? Some of you might, but most of you probably wouldn't. And to be honest, I don't think I can talk for that long. I can talk for England, but even I would get to the point where I'd run out of things to say. So, you know, some things you don't probably need to see, but I could at least tell you what I'm going to do or, you know, incorporate it in these videos in some kind of way. I will share videos or blog posts or both when I've got something particularly relevant to say, or when I think it's going to be particularly helpful. I will do that. So, you know, I won't film everything, but I will film some things. So I have a question for you. What supply are you feeling overwhelmed by? If you could leave me a comment either on this video, in the Facebook group, or email it to me if you want it to be private, please let me know, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to collect all of the results together, and I'm going to make sure that I'm in my plan of what we do each month. I'm going to tackle certain areas of things. So the way I see this challenge going in the future, beyond the getting prepped and organised month, is having a certain theme that we can work on each month. So month 2 might be Mass Make Month. That just gives you a clue of what I've got planned. Month 3 might be Book Page Month. Month 4 might be Let's Get on Top of Our Fabric. So what would be really helpful to me is if you could let me know what you're overwhelmed by, just like if it's several things, do tell me. Tell me all the things. And I'll make sure that we can prioritise those. So, you know, if 10 people end up saying book pages, well, clearly we've all got the same problem, and that needs to come sooner rather than later. But even if it's just one person's got this problem, I'm still going to try my best to give you ideas as to how you can go about using the supplies, decluttering, organising, getting use out of them, because, you know, what's the point of having these supplies if we never actually get the time to use them? So that's what this year is all about. That was a lot of guff, and I'm going to try my best to edit this video in such a way so that it's not just me jabbering on screen all the time. But, you know, I hope that's given you some, you know, information and some colour, some excitement as to what this challenge is all about. So yeah, as I say, I would love for you to get involved, but don't feel like you have to do it now. If you don't have time to start this until, you know, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, that's fine. But still let me know if you take part in the challenge later. So I'd love to know, and then I can, you know, cheer you on, cheer you on a bit. So I appreciate that was a lot of words, a lot of talking, a lot of information. Everything is in the Facebook group, in case you want to read it rather than listen to me. So I hope you're excited about the Stashbusting challenge. I hope that this has been helpful to give you a little bit more of colour into how it's going to work and things that we can do to get on top of our supplies. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your progress. Any ideas that you have, for things that we can be doing, let me know. Likewise, do let me know if there's a particular supply that is really overwhelming you. We want to sort that out this year, so let me know what it is, and I'll make sure that we've got some ideas and some tasks and things to help you with that. So yeah, I hope that you'll enjoy it, and I look very much forward to seeing your progress and what you end up doing, and of course along the way I'll be there cheering you on and doing my best to share ideas and inspiration, I guess. So thank you so much, we'll speak very soon. Bye bye for now.